Hey guys, it's Dino back with some more Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Oh, it's xcal again. He must have dug a tunnel. Back to the second round. So, Piston Honda, or xcal, or Bruce, whatever you want to call him, is definitely the easiest guy by far out of this world circuit. To be honest, he's so easy that he's almost difficult compared to everybody else. Everyone else has all these moves that really aren't telegraphed at all, and you can dodge every single one of his moves pretty easily. I'm actually doing a really poor job here because I've played through the whole thing and now I'm playing everybody else again and starting over, and I actually cannot remember what his deal is. But it really doesn't matter, you can play him and have no clue and still whip his ass. So, yeah, before I got into this, I figured I'm a little older, wiser, smarter. I've got a few championships in my belt. Should have no problem whipping Mike Tyson's Punch-Out's ass. I have to say, this is one of the hardest games that I have ever played. A lot of things we take for granted in video games today, you just don't see in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. I mean, I don't even know where to start. You get all sorts of random variables, like that star you just saw. I think they had it ideally, so if you time a late punch, you hit them and then you daze them. I think it stops the clock. And then you get an uppercut, which does some good damage. But unfortunately, if you don't mean to do that, then it throws off your entire flow. And when a majority of your opponents, especially as these guys get tougher and tougher, have no, I don't want to say they have no pattern, because to an extent they do, but it's so variable that, and you have such a small window to react. It's really frustrating, and it's exceptionally hard. I haven't played a video game as hard as this in a long time. There's also something that goes on, you'll see it from time to time, especially when I'm fighting Super Macho Man later, but your punches will occasionally speed up really fast, and then you also, I don't know how this works, you also occasionally will slow down, and you'll see it also when fighting Macho Man. When trying to dodge repeatedly, it just doesn't feel like you're, I mean, you can watch it like you're slowing down. I don't really know why it happens. It's bizarre. Also, yeah, like I said, the timing is very precise of when you actually have to either dodge or hit somebody. And to such an extent that you can dodge too early, come back and be hit by the punch as you're coming back from the dodge. You can actually hit the button as he's punching, but because it takes you half of a second to actually dodge, you technically have to hit the button before you see him doing it. It's really tough. In no way, shape, or form do I recommend anybody trying to play this game and kicking its ass. I just don't think it's worth it. So Popinski is a good example of what makes this game so incredibly difficult. However, you will see there is a rather easy way to beat him. So basically, I'm timing those punches, timing that one as well, and then when you uppercut him, it knocks him down. So the easiest way to beat Popinski is to take him down in the first round, and if you don't, just start over again. Because if you get out of your routine, then he starts doing different shit, and it gets really tough. So you see when he crouches down there, and he goes for this huge giant uppercut, if you block for whatever reason, it pauses him from doing that, and I have no idea why. And then you just hit him in the chest, and all is well. Yeah, really bizarre. So once you figure that out, it's definitely not too bad. There's a TKO. Once I figured out that you could do this to Popinski, I Went from having a huge amount of trouble beating him to more or less just walking right through him. So this is Bald Bull. I've already fought him, and the first round he's ridiculously easy. I don't know if the timing gets tougher or if he gets faster. I don't know all the different factors that go into it. But this fight was definitely not easy. So I don't know if you saw that. Every time he raises his hands, like again and again and again, if you hit him anywhere in the head or otherwise, you get an uppercut, which this guy, right there, the only way to knock him out is to use uppercuts. If you don't, you just sit there and pound him and he goes to 0 health and doesn't get knocked down. So that's what makes this Bald Bull a little different. Also, his charge on this one is virtually impossible to stop. It's, can't remember if I actually end up stopping it or not. It's, the timing is, yeah, like I said, exceptionally difficult. After playing this game too, I'm really, I don't know, man. Oh god, here it comes. Luckiest fucking shot of my entire life. I'm a little skeptical of guys that are just going in rounds, flawlessing everybody, and hitting perfectly timed punches and never getting hit. Not to say that it's not possible, but with just how easy it is to cheat with emulators, yeah, I don't know if I buy it. Just seems a little silly. Yeah, obviously none of these fights are pretty. It's possible to do a lot better. Like I said, you can YouTube and find dudes, you know, beating guys in 1/10 the time and taking no hits and connecting on everything. And it might be possible if you put in an absurd amount of playtime, and I'm definitely not going to go that far with it. But the amount of guys that have them out there, I don't know. You just have to wonder. I think the only time I've ever called hacks was in a COD game with a dude who had an MG and was, yeah, such a hard shot, or hard timing. Dude had an MG, and he was shooting people in the head, myself included, so fast that I could not even peek out to see where he was at fast enough in order to even find him, let alone aim and shoot him. And then when it shows the kill cam, I mean, he basically drops 4 people in the 2 seconds it takes to kill me. And his view was spinning around 360 degrees and lightning fast headshotting people. It was crazy. So yeah, the timing on these guys, yeah, so bizarre. They switch it up all the time in the fights. If you hit him and they block it, or if they hit you, then they switch up their whole routine in the first place. But then randomly, like, their same, you know, 1.5 seconds between their swings, they will shift in mid-fight, and then it'll go to 2.5 seconds. So then you dodge, and it's not good enough. They fucking smash you. One of the things that's common too is you dodge a hit, and then you know from previous experience that when you dodge this certain blow, you get, say, 4 shots to the head or 6 shots. Only it seems random that sometimes you only get 4 when you normally get 6. And so then when you go for that extra hit, they go down and uppercut you in the face. And being hit is kind of a double whammy, because not only does it take off health, it oftentimes gives them health, and it also lowers your hearts or stamina you have up there, which is the amount of times you can block or hit them and they can block you before you have to dodge a whole bunch. I was a little surprised at how easy Don Flamenco was compared to everybody else. I was expecting him to be absolutely brutal. For the most part, he kept the same pattern and routine and speed. He almost reminds me of xcal earlier. with how easy he is, he almost throws you off that he attacks so slow. It's really bizarre. And yeah, it's really unlikely for me to go a whole round without getting hit. I think I played Don Flamenco once, maybe twice. And it's a little embarrassing to say, but I mean, I played some of these other guys, oh, Jesus Christ, quite a few times before I ended up beating them. I can only imagine how hard this game must have been to beat back in the day if you're actually playing it on Nintendo. Yeah, you just had to reload constantly and put in the codes, and then for some reason when you get farther up in this world circuit, when it gives you a rematch option, you don't get to rematch the guy you lost to. It knocks you down a rung or two, and then you rematch that guy if you make it that far. So what I did with the emulator was you get to save it basically at any time. I would just save it before a guy and practice on it a whole bunch, and then in order to make this, I just started it up, and after I got all the guys down, just plowed through them. You could have done the same thing on a regular Nintendo, it just would have taken 10 times longer. And I just can't imagine the amount of playtime that would take. So there's an example of your punches randomly speeding up, and I don't know why it happens. I feel like the opposite is true as well. They just occasionally seem to slow down. I really don't know why that is. There goes Don Flamenco yet again. I did actually manage to take one fight to a decision. I didn't even know that was possible. And I've won all my decisions. I guess they go by knockdowns or health, I'm not really sure. I don't think I can take... Some of these guys I don't think I can take to decisions. I don't think you can take Mike Tyson to a decision. I have seen videos of him being flawless in one round, and I don't know. I haven't really played him yet. I think I fought one round and he murdered me. But we'll see. If I do end up beating him, when I end up beating him, I'm probably going to take some hits. One of the easier, I'll say easier, I mean it is easier, strategies to take down just about anybody in this game is to wear them down and go into the second round with them at virtually no health. Means you can get a knockdown really quick, and even if you fuck shit up and don't do too well, you'll usually get another knockdown within a minute or something like that, and then have another 2 minutes to finish it off. Anyone looking at the timer too will notice that the chronograph or whatever it is in-game goes a lot faster than real-time. About 3 minutes in-game or 2 minutes real-time. That's why it doesn't necessarily add up if you're keeping track. So that was an example of me just getting lucky. I randomly hit him and apparently timed it right and got an uppercut even though I didn't mean to, and I'm not a huge fan of that because, like I said, it just completely throws off your flow. I mean, I'm playing Dead Space 2 right now on the hardest difficulty setting, and I'm just walking over it. I put precious few hours into Batman. I mean, and I can go in and get 80, 90, 100 plus combos in that game. I've put more time into Mike Tyson's Punch-Out than I have Batman, and I get my ass kicked all over town in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. It's just too random. Like I said, those the timings for when you have to get moves off are just so strict. So Sandman has, he kind of has a, what do you call it? I guess a trick to beating him like some of the other guys do. So you can throw a punch, and then he swings you immediately, which means you can dodge it every single time. And you have to hit him once in the head, and then 3 times in the body, and that's as much as you can do. And then he does this thing where He throws all those uppercuts, and you get a whole bunch of body blows. I can't figure out the time when he does it, seems to change. So my strategy is just to spam dodge and hope that I dodge them, and it ended up working out for me. It's not classy and it has absolutely zero skill attached, but it works. Even if he takes you out during that, because he does this, Sandman is actually a really easy guy to fight. If you weren't doing this, he would be extremely difficult, but like I said, some of the guys have a kind of a cheap secret tactic to beat him, and Sandman's definitely one of them. I know there is that select trick that you can hit during the title screen or whatever it is, and it'll give you some extra health. You can also take health away depending on when you use it. I don't think I ever used it. If I do, you'll see my health shoot up. For a lot of these guys, it's really not too big of a deal, because when they're knocking you down, they're hitting you with shots that are going to take you down no matter how much health you have. Like this guy's uppercut combos, if they hit you with them, it doesn't matter if you have full health, they're going to kill you. There's a good example. To go back to Batman, with just a few short hours playing that game, you can basically develop a feel for it. I mean, you couldn't play it blindfolded, but, you know, when to counter, when to throw, when to dodge, when to hit. I mean, with just a couple hours in the game, you can more or less predict when guys are going to do what. And if you can't, or if something happens where it's a little wonky, like, you get upset and frustrated because it's obvious that it takes a certain amount of luck or something, and it shouldn't be that way. And to be honest, those minority moments in Batman feel like the majority of this game. But I'm not surprised, because I mean, this is where video games started off. I was reading something, I don't know if it was on GameFAQs or a YouTube comment, but when Nintendo first came out, this is when they refused to publish like in-game secrets, or there were no strategy mags, there was no anything like that. I think I talked about it in my last video too. I mean, the internet wasn't really popularized until at least the early 90s. I mean, there just weren't sites out there that were repositories of information to figure out moves and things like that. Your best bet was to pick up some magazine from the store that might have something in there. But I mean, more or less, unless your best friend played the game, you're shit out of luck, most likely. So, now we've got Mr. Macho Man. I don't know why I showed him with the picture of his gray hair, and now he has dark hair. But he's pretty brutal. He has a couple extremely damaging attacks that are really difficult to dodge, and I practiced for a long time on them. He's just an absolutely infuriating guy to fight. I can only hope that Mike Tyson's harder. Unlike some of the other guys, Bald Bull, for instance, he doesn't take a uppercut to get knocked out. Every time you do knock him down, he does a little homo charge thing. He also has the amount of times that he spins around after getting knocked out are completely random. I've seen some estimates that ranges from like 3 to 10, others 4 to 7. I don't know. It's all over the board, which makes it really easy to dodge. So, there my punches are speeding up again. So like that move that he spins around, I mean, if you wait until he initializes it, it's not physically possible for you to dodge. You have to anticipate it, but it's really hard to anticipate because the timing shifts. So what you saw what I did to him right there is I just said, fuck it, I'm not going to beat this guy in the first round. And got his health down really low and just started dodging like crazy. And so I'm going to go for an early round KO here, and I hope that I can finish him off 2 more times. I don't even know if KOs in this game exist. All I get are TKOs. You might as well just say you win. I mean, TKO is kind of... Alright, so... Dodge those. Got extremely lucky. I tried that forever, and I feel like I got so... I got really frustrated, but I got so lucky when I finally dodged them. Basically, like, if you would do 6, 7, 8, or 9 of them, you would just see my guy slowing down, and there was nothing you could do. So right now, I finally knocked him out. I have almost no health left. Minute 24, which means I have 2.5 minutes to knock him out again, or a minute and a half. And it's all riding on this. Now I have a minute and a half. Right now I'm kind of seeing victory at the end of the tunnel. Now it's going away. Luckiest dodge of my entire life. Almost dead. Luckily he starts chaining attacks and they're easy to dodge. But see right there, Jesus Christ, right there, like he just changed up his, just randomly mid-fight, he just changed up his speed, his timing, so I don't understand. Luckily I dodged it randomly and got the victory. So that concludes the world circuit, and the only guy left is Mike Tyson. So I'll definitely be looking to take him down here in the next couple days, and you know, stay tuned for that video. If I can take down Mike Tyson, oh Jesus Christ, I'll finally be completing like a childhood dream 20 some odd years later. So anyway, stay tuned for the final round.